Welcome to the Headshots Podcast with Dr. Nicole, a 1-hour conversation on mental wellness to improve your look and outlook. During the show, we will talk about a variety of topics which impact you from the inside out. Each show is designed with 3 parts: lights, camera, and action. In our lights segment, we will shed light on a topic around a mental health concern. In our camera segment, we will focus on that mental health concern, educate, and raise awareness. And in our action segment, we will give 3 steps to improve your look and your outlook. So join us for the Headshots Podcast with Dr. Nicole. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Headshots Podcast with Dr. Nicole. Do me a favor, like this post and share it with your friends so that we can have an hour conversation on mental wellness to improve your look and your outlook. My name is Dr. Nicole Johnson, and I thank you for joining us tonight. I want to thank our live audience and our replay audience and our audience on all of the platforms in which we are airing this broadcast tonight. I come to you as a licensed professional counselor, an addiction specialist, a trauma professional, an assistant professor in counseling with over 20 years experience in behavioral health services. Tonight, we will continue our second season, and I'm so excited for the topic that we have tonight. We will continue with the series Recovery, Recover Me 2021. Last week, we had an awesome show talking about everyone coming through 2020, the pandemic, racial injustice. A lot of people have lost their lives, and all of the things, all of the transitions of 2020. And here we are in 2021, and we started a journey in recovery, not necessarily from drug addiction or alcoholism or mental health challenges, but the recovery of me. All of those things are valid. We may be talking to you about drug addiction. We may be talking to you about mental health concerns that are not addressed, but we're also talking to you about recovering you, who you are and who you were before all of the stresses of last year. even recovering you from who you are going to, who you were, and all of the trauma that you might experience to find out who you're going to be. So let's get with it tonight. Tonight we have a topic called blind spots. In life, there are things that we just miss. That's why our cars have rear view mirrors so that we can be able to catch those things that we can't see out of our vision. And last week we were talking about recovery and we are talking about Recover Me. And my host, who's back with my co host, who's back with me tonight, Elder John Hale, was talking about the dream team and why we need a dream team. So tonight our topic is blind spots. Why I need a dream team. People may be wondering, I don't have any blind spots. I know everything about myself. I am so reflective. I know who I am, where I am, what's going on. I know the impact that 2020 had on me, and I'm already set, Dr. Nicole, on this road to recovery. But let's evaluate this a little bit further. So we talked last week and we asked people to join us on this road to recovery. And I'm so grateful to those persons who are with us tonight who said, Dr. Nicole, Elder Hale, all of the co-hosts that are going to be on this season, I want to walk with you on this road to recovery. I want to not only go in recovery, but I also want to recover me out of the situations and circumstances of 2020. And so, to begin your recovery, there needs to be a period of reflection. There needs to be a time to sit down and to evaluate all of the things that are not only happening around you, but have happened inside of you. And so, tonight, I want to talk about a model that we use in counseling. It's a reflection model, and it's called the Johari's window. Some people may have heard it, and some people may not have heard it. But it is what we use a lot of time to a model of self reflection that has four parts. So, as we're going through our time tonight, I want to shed light on the fact that my recovery may begin with Johari's window, an opportunity to reflect. As we're going through tonight, feel free to put your questions in the chat and they'll get it to us and we will definitely answer your questions tonight. So let's talk about Johari's window. There are four parts of the Johari's window that I want to bring up. Quadrant one, or the first part, is the open area. That's the parts of us that everybody knows about and we know about ourselves. It's our behaviors, our actions, our responses. Like people know something about me, Dr. Nicole, that I talk a lot. Hence, that's why I'm doing this podcast because it kind of flows in my natural personality. Another thing people know about me is that I wake up early and I have a lot of energy. So those are not things that are hidden. Those are things that are wide open about me that you can tell. I mean, if you never knew me and you hear me on the podcast, you may say, wow, she talks. She may like to be in front of a camera. Not necessarily so, but is a person that seems to be light and bubbly and excited. This is me all day, every day. And so that's an open area. But then there are blind spots. These are areas that others can see about me, but I can't see about myself. And that's where we get into some touchy areas about ourselves when there's areas that other people see about us, but we don't agree when they start giving us feedback. Uh, no, I'm not petty. No, I'm not over analyzing things. No, I'm not over worried or over anxious about things. These are areas that someone may give us feedback on, and I don't really recognize about myself. So that's quadrant two. So we got the areas that I know, everybody knows, I know about myself. Then we have the blind spots, the things that others see in me but I don't quite see in myself. Then we have hidden areas. Hidden areas are areas that we avoid, areas that I know about myself, but I don't want to reveal to others. I don't want you to see these parts of me, these maybe not so good parts of me, these thoughts that I have that may not be so good, these habits that I have that may not be so good. These are the hidden areas. I know them, but I try to avoid anybody else finding these things out. We all have them. We can't say, "Oh, I don't have any hidden areas." We hear people say, "I'm an open book." But if we're going to walk on this journey of recovery, we have to acknowledge the fact that we have some hidden areas, some deep, dark things in our heart and in our mind and in our actions. And then the last quadrant are unknown areas. These are areas that only come to light through exploration. For instance, you may never thought of yourself as needing recovery. You never thought of yourself because you thought recovery was only for people who have drug addictions or who have any type of other addiction. So you felt like what they're talking about recovery, they're not talking to me. But as we started talking about this topic of recovery, recover me, you begin to realize that there might be some things that you need to recover from. And while these things were unknown, the more we talk and the more we explore and the more we evaluate ourselves and who we are, we find out that there are things that I can improve on. There are things I need help with. There are areas of my personality that I need to tweak a little bit. And so, as I'm coming out of 2020 into 2021, and I'm seeking to recover, I'm seeking to get back up again, I'm seeking to get unstuck, we're going to uncover some things about ourselves that we have never uncovered before. And so it is so important for us to have this backdrop of reflection. So tonight, as we're talking, we may be tapping on your open areas. We may be talking about some things that you already knew about yourself and others knew about you. Tonight, as we're talking, we may hit some blind spots. A lot of times when we're doing our podcast, people will say, "Wow," or "Oh my goodness," or "Oh wow, that's me." Those are blind spots that people are getting information about that they didn't really see until they got feedback. Then there are some hidden areas. And I'm not going to tell you to put your hidden area in the chat, but I am going to say evaluate those hidden areas tonight because those may be some of the things that are keeping you stuck in 2020 and not helping you to get up in 2021. And then as we go on this journey of recovery, I'm hoping it's a wonderful thing that you will uncover some things about yourself, some hidden strengths that you didn't know, some unknown area of expertise, some skills and values within yourself that you didn't even recognize that you have. So as we go on this journey, I recognize that as a person on this recovery journey, I need to gain awareness, helpful and ways that I am looking at myself and helpful ways to improve those unhelpful parts of myself. How have I handled 2020? How have I responded to 2020? How have I accepted the incidents that happened in this year? And how have they impacted me? Where am I right now? What are the areas that I know? What are the areas that I don't know? And when you think about the Johari's window and the aspect of looking at yourself through a reflective lens, this brings us to the next part. After we shed the light on the Johari's window, we're shedding light that there are four areas of my self reflection that I need to carry in this recovery process. So now let's focus in on that. As we look through ourselves through a reflective lens, let's shine the camera right on and focus in on the dream team. Last week, we talked about the fact that if I'm going to go through this reflective process, if I'm going to recover me, I'm going to need some people who are in my life who are going to help me explore these four areas, help me explore my open areas, my blind spots, my hidden areas, and my unknown. I'm going to need people in my life to help me recover. And so I would like to welcome back my co host from last week, Elder John Hale, who really started talking about that dream team. And we're going to focus in this week why I need a dream team, how each person in this dream team can help me with my blind spots. Come on, let's welcome Elder John Hale, back again. Hi, John. How you doing?
Hello, Dr. Johnson. Hello, Facebook family. It's a pleasure and an honor to be back here. I feel so blessed and honored to be back here again, hopefully to shed some more interesting light upon the situation and topic.
Yeah, John, I'm with you. And so, blind spots. When you think about blind spots, John, what do you think about when you think about blind spots?
Well, I mean, it's just almost like what it says. When I think about blind spots, is something that I have to understand that it is not revealed to me. This is something
Hmm.
as much as I would like to see, I cannot see.
Hmm.
It's almost like that's the purpose of the rear view mirror,
Hmm.
because you cannot see. And even when you're driving, there's a certain area when you're driving that if a person is next to you cannot see it even in your mirror.
Hmm.
That's considered a blind spot. So in other words, we cannot see everything.
Hmm.
So when I think of blind spots, I think of humility.
Hmm.
And the reason why I think of humility is because, and trust, is because that means that I have to trust someone else to see what I don't see.
So, John, as we're on this road to recovery, recover me, so what you're saying is, I need someone else to help me in this process.
Yes.
A lot of times we operate by ourselves and we say, I got it. I'll get myself back up. I'm fine. And like last week, we talked about that commercial, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah.
And so what we're saying is with blind spots is I need others.
Yeah.
I need a dream team. I need
Yeah.
someone to help me, right?
Yes, this is exactly why we need a dream team. I love the dream team, and one thing about a dream team, the reason why I say that is, it's not for you to think of a dream team as this fantastic team of all MVPs and all stars that you need in your
Hmm.
life.
Hmm.
On the most part, is on the contrary. I know growing up when we used to play street football, and we used to have two captains, and then we used to
John,
pick, you
street
know
football.
street football, yeah, like run around in the street and throw the football,
Okay.
yeah, that kind
Okay.
of street football. All right. So and then you would just start picking people to be on your team, and
Hmm.
most of the time the viewpoint was to pick the best
Hmm.
to be on your team.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the thing about it is that that doesn't always make the best team,
Hmm.
because you're
Hmm.
picking everybody that you believe is good, but they may not be good in certain other areas. So when you're building a dream team, the true dream team is to build people who can do different things,
Hmm.
can see different things,
Hmm.
have different skills, and collectively we can get where we want to be. Everybody on the team cannot be me, because if everybody was on the team to be me, then we're all still missed the blind spot.
Hmm.
So this is what I'm talking about. When you're looking for a dream team, a lot of times we look and try to pick people who are we believe are the shiniest. Now there are
Hmm.
characteristics and attributes that we should be looking for, but I
Hmm.
just thought I'd start with that.
So, John, you're saying that we have to be very careful because if this recovery process is going to be as successful as we believe it to be, a lot of people come into the recovery process. They say, I'm getting back up again. I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to get, people say, I'm going to get my whole life together, right? I'm going
My
to get
whole life.
myself together. I'm going to do these things. But a lot of times I agree, John, that people go when they need help, they usually go to their pool. They
Hmm.
usually don't go outside of their comfort zone. They
Hmm.
usually go to people right around them, similar to them, in the same boat, and
Yep.
they wonder why I can't recover me, why I can't get up, why am I still stuck? And that's because we tend to go to people that see it the way we see it,
Yeah.
that commonality. And what you're saying is, if you want to recover, if you really want to get up in 2021, you're going to have to go outside your comfort zone. First of all, it's not held all in you. You need other people.
Yes.
We need other people. The second thing is that we need other people, but we also need people that might not be like us. We
Yes.
need a different perspective. We need to change, if you will, if I take a pun on our camera section, we
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
change the lens of the camera.
We need to change the lens. We need to be able to see from all angles. And then that's the whole point of picking a dream team or people to be
Mhm.
on your team, is because people are specifically, each person may be specifically trained to see from a different perspective or a certain angle.
Mhm.
So you need people to be able to, and we'll get into talking about some of the roles, but
Mhm.
those roles are individuals who are designed to see from that angle.
Mhm.
So I guess whenever you get there, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
Yeah,
But
I don't want to be too
John, I
fast.
started thinking about like people are coming, they came out of 2020, and a lot of people are looking back for something that's no longer there.
Mm,
There and I had put it like this. It's like when you graduate from elementary school and you go back the next year looking for third grade. Third grade is gone. Third grade is gone. And so I need the teacher in sixth grade. I need someone else. I need the new friends to tell me how to live, how to survive, how to handle this new life, this transition. And so, you know, why are people stuck looking back? Why are they looking back for something that's no longer there?
well, a lot of times, and obviously we cannot speak for everyone, but a lot of times that's where, for some people, the comfort was.
Mhm.
For some people, that's where the success was at.
Mhm.
For some people, they feel like that's where them best selves were.
Mhm.
You know, and it's very scary sometimes to look forward into the unknown. This is what we've been
Mhm.
talking about with the pandemic and stuff,
Mhm.
and uncertainty um, is very challenging, and a lot of
Mhm.
times we want to resort back to what we believe was safe, even if it was not productive. You could still run back to something that has not been productive for you, but
Mhm.
it's predictable for you.
Yeah, so people get comfortable in the way, even John, when you talked about the car, people get comfortable even with the way that their rear view mirror is set, right? They get so set with
Yeah.
what they see. And sometimes that can cause an accident. And so each year, 840,000 blind spot automobile accidents occur every year, resulting in 300 fatalities. So
That's sad.
we have to shift our view. We have to get other perspectives because your blind spot can kill you. But the
Mm,
thing is, it doesn't have to.
yeah.
The way you saw things last year is not going to work this year. And that's okay if you are willing to shift your perspective. If you're willing to allow some people to come around you and to help you on this journey of recovery and to help you really truly recover yourself. And so, John basically is saying, are you willing to shift your perspective? That's what we're
Yeah.
asking our audience tonight.
Are you willing to shift
Are
your
you
perspective?
willing to shift your perspective? Are you willing to allow someone else to help you? Because, John, you can't see what I can see.
No, and not only that I can't see what you can see, not only can I not see it, but I don't I don't know how to see it.
Right,
I
right.
don't know what I'm looking for. Is
Hmm.
because I'm already trained to see me through me.
John, I
So
like
when you're
that.
talking about the Johari's window, it's like the reason why it's a blind spot is because you just cannot see it.
Hmm.
No matter what you do, you will not be able to see behind you.
Hmm.
You just
Hmm.
cannot see it. So therefore, you have to have that level of humility, as I said, and then be
Hmm.
receptive for people to give you what you said earlier in Johari's window, is that I need to be able to receive that type of feedback, that type of information, right? So that I can
Hmm.
consider how do I get my back covered?
Right,
Who covers my back? Who
right,
has my back?
right.
Because I can't see my back.
Right. And John, Michelle had put a quote, had put a comment in, which was so powerful. And she
Hmm.
talked about her success was when she went way out of her comfort zone.
Okay.
And that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about if we're going to change our perspective, if we're going to shift our perspective, we have got to be willing to come out of our comfort zone. We got to be willing to allow someone else to give us perspective. Let somebody else shift your mirror.
Hmm.
Let somebody else help you see things afresh in a brand new way. We're talking about recovery, recover me. We want to move forward in 2021. I'm stuck, like John said, because I'm going off of what my information, my perspective, my knowledge. And that's why I'm here. I need some help. I need someone else. So, John, I'm thinking about the dream team. I'm thinking about how can I put this team together? Who can I pull into my circle as I'm trying to walk on this recovery journey? Who can I bring into my life if I may have them and maybe I need to really reposition people and
Hmm.
allow them to operate? I love what you said, John, about people having roles. But the question is, these people may be in your life. And as we go through the different positions, you may honestly say, oh, I had that person. Oh, and you may be able to name them.
Yeah.
But then are you allowing them to facilitate their role? Are you allowing them to really be those people that give you that perspective? So, know your position and knowing the role of the dream team. So, John, the dream team consists of three people, right?
Okay.
The mentor to lead us, the peer to walk with us, and the coach to push us. Let's start with the mentor. The mentor is the one who leads us. Talk about the mentor, John.
Well, well. Talking about the mentor, when someone is leading you, there's a couple of two things that we want to also cover, Dr. Johnson, and that is the fact that when you're looking at it from the Johari's Windows perspective, you've done a lot of work. You know,
Mhm,
you've been able to speak with other people or see other people, and everybody kind of know where you are because
mhm,
what I know, they know. And
mhm,
then I have some conversations where I got a little bit more information because people had told me what they seen that was blind to me. And this is
mhm.
as we work in the team out. But then
Yes.
in those other two is where it gets a little bit more uh, um, not tricky, but a little bit more. You need to be a little bit more courageous and trusting.
Mhm,
Is
mhm,
because when it comes to you having to reveal those hidden things about yourself, you know, your
mhm,
secrets and your
mhm.
vulnerabilities, your
Yes.
faults,
Yes.
that sense of vulnerability. In order for someone to help you in any one of these roles that we get ready to talk about, you have to be vulnerable
Vulnerable.
because
Yes,
then what
sir.
happens is you have people in any one of these roles trying to support you with misinformation or a lack of information. You know how you go to the medical doctor or something and they say, "Do you have a history of this? Do you have this? Do you have this?" And if
Mhm,
and or if you come into recovery or a doctor's office and you says, "I'm having pains in my leg," they're going to give you every information concerning the pain within the leg, but all along it was really your heart. So
John,
while
you
you're
know,
getting treated for that leg, you're
mhm,
still at risk for, I'm just using this example, for a heart attack or something, is because
mhm,
you were reluctant for whatever particular reason,
mhm,
whether it was pride, whether it was shame, whether it was a fear of rejection.
mhm,
You did not disclose the information that they needed to
mhm.
help make a more informed decision in any of these roles that we're about to talk about.
So, John, what you're saying is that in this recovery process, the foundation of recovery, recover me, is honesty.
Honesty
It's honesty.
and
You
vulnerability.
and vulnerability. Admit that when we were in the
Admit.
pandemic, you slacked off of some of your good habits and you started picking up some old habits. Admit we know that people started engaging in activities and behaviors that were not the best. Admit that you fell off the wagon, as
Yeah.
they say. Admit that you started engaging in things that were not you, and you thought they weren't you, but they started, those hidden areas started rising up. We
Yes.
have to admit
Yes.
that when I was under this amount of stress, I'd never been under this amount of stress in a situation before. Admit to the fact that I found myself cracking at the seams. I
Yeah.
found
Good
myself
stuff.
doing things that even shocked me. I got into certain habits and certain cycles. And that's why it's so important. Like you're saying, John, I'm with you. We have to be honest if we're going to
Yeah.
get help. We have to be
Wow.
honest, and then we have to be vulnerable. We have
Have
to
to be
allow
vulnerable.
ourselves to open up and to allow the process and allow these people that we pull into our circle to
Hmm.
help us. John, how can the mentor help us? How can the mentor help us?
Well, the mentor is actually there to lead us. So
Mhm,
this just kind of brings us to those that last window as
mhm,
well as our roles. And that last window is, you know, when I begin to explore, not only am I recovering me, but I'm discovering me. And
oh,
maybe I wasn't as strong as I
wait a
thought I
minute,
was.
John. Say
Okay,
that
let me slow
again.
it down.
Say it
Okay.
again. Not only am I what?
Recovering me, but I'm
I'm
discovering me.
I'm not only recovering me, but I am discovering me. I love John.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's golden right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I
Go
am
ahead.
discovering me because within the discovery, along with that honest vulnerability, I
Mhm,
can admit that maybe I wasn't as strong as I thought I was. I can
mhm,
admit that maybe I was depending on something
mhm,
when I should have been depending on a team rather than depending on me. Maybe I was
mhm,
putting my trust in certain areas, or maybe I just thought I had it going on like that.
mhm. Yes.
And then I find out that I'm really not built like that. Maybe
Mhm,
I find myself where my vulnerabilities was because I couldn't speak up and I couldn't stand up for myself.
mhm,
But now, trying to recover me, I discovered me. The reason why I'm stuck is because I won't speak up.
mm,
So, all of these
mhm.
things, when you are self examining yourself, and it's very important to do this inventory and this research, is so that the mentor can properly support you. The
Yes,
mentor is
John.
there to lead and guide you. So, when you're picking out that dream team mentor, you don't just want somebody that knows how to do uh, the skill or job or role that you're looking to, because mentor usually leads you. They're
Mhm,
mentoring you in either
mhm,
a position, but
mhm,
they also
mhm,
should be mentoring you into a characteristic, into a virtue.
mhm,
Not just
mhm,
that should be showing you how to do something.
mhm.
YouTube and Google can do that. You could how do I do, and you can Google it. But you want people to be able to show you how to do the things that you're desiring to do, but with integrity, but with
Mhm,
character, with
mhm,
honesty,
mhm.
with virtues. So you want the character to match the duty. So when you're looking for
So,
someone
John,
to mentor you, they're leading you. So it's
uh-huh.
very important to know that they're leading you. So if they're leading you, then you want to make sure that you're going in a direction that is pure.
So, John, I think what you're saying and what I'm hearing is that not only when I'm looking for a mentor, like you said, it's not just someone that can show you how to do something. You can Google, YouTube, but it's not something to show you how to do, but teaching you how to be. And a lot of times people are very successful with doing. Do this, checklist, checklist, checklist. They told us in the pandemic, oh, don't watch so much TV. Check. They told us, walk outside. Check. They told you to put your mask and watch. Oh, check. You checked all of the boxes, but inside of you, you're still dying.
Hmm.
Inside of you, mentally and emotionally, you're still hurting. You're still wounded because they taught you how to do, but we didn't teach each other how to be. How do I
Yeah,
be of a sound mind?
there you
How
go.
do I be of sound emotions? How do I be? How do I accept loss? How do I be grieving? How do
Yeah.
I be? No, no, no. Do the funeral and do the funeral and say goodbye. We did a lot of doing in 2020, but now it's time to be. And being is when we recover and, like you said, discover me.
Yes.
And the mentor can help with that.
The
The
mentor can
mentor,
definitely help with that. Yeah.
yeah, you got to trust them though. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
just
no, no,
couldn't
you're
stop.
you're hitting it. We're together here, and
We're
our
together.
audience are here with us, and I
Yes.
hope that we're rolling with them too. Is because see that mentor role is very important too. Is that they're leading.
They're
So if
leading.
they're leading, you want to know who they're following.
Yeah.
You see,
Yes.
because every leader has a leader.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that your leader is being led.
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
very important to do that. Your
Mhm.
mentor sole responsibility is to lead you
Mhm.
into your desired destination or your desired outcome. So
Mhm.
when they're leading you, that means that you are following them. They
Mhm.
are not following you, you are following
Right.
them.
Right.
But you have given them enough information in to go off of because you took care of that hidden space. So that
Yeah.
person that is leading you is taking you on the road where they have been, but
Mhm.
they have been that way. They have been down that road, but you have not been.
Mhm.
So they can
Mhm.
only lead you wherever they can only lead according to where they're willing to go.
And John, that's so true. And it's common that Shalana is saying that being trying, a lot of times we've tried to make other people happy,
Yeah,
but we ourselves are suffering. That's why we need a mentor, because that mentor will help us and teach us how to recover us, because we have gotten lost. If you're a parent going through 2020, you were supporting your children. You were running here, running there. You might have had parents. People have been extending themselves. If you're a leader, and whether a leader, entrepreneur, a leader in business, a leader in church, a leader in any type of avenue, you were spending your time supporting others, and somewhere you got lost.
yeah,
You lost you in helping others. And so now we're in 2021. This podcast, this season, this recovery, recover me, this is for you. This is not for you to say, "Oh, okay, like and share it." But this is not for you to take the information and feel like you have to put it on someone else's plate. We
right,
want you to
right.
take this information and
Mm.
keep it on your plate. Eat it yourself.
Yes,
Feed off of it yourself. Get nourishment yourself. Get your wellness back now for yourself. And then you can share how the process was. Then you could be a mentor, right,
yes, yeah.
John?
But
You
that's
could
how
be
it
a
goes
mentor.
because
That's
that's
how it
exactly
goes.
how it goes because you're going to be drafted on somebody else's team.
Hmm.
Somebody
Hmm.
else is going to pull you in as their mentor while you're still being mentored.
Right.
That's why I said every leader has a leader. So
Hmm.
while you're leading, you may have someone following you.
Yes.
And that person that's following you may be leading someone else.
Yes. Yes. So it's a
That's
reciprocal
so important.
process.
It's
It's a
reciprocal.
reciprocal
Yes.
process. So that is why we cannot do this thing alone. And so, John, we have the mentor leading us. But then, John, we still don't do it alone, because the reason why we need all of these parts is because different people do different things for us. And sometimes, John, I don't want to tell my mentor everything.
That's right.
I don't want to tell my mentor everything. I don't. There is a sense of I want to make my mentor proud. I want my mentor to be happy with my progress
Mhm.
or the things that I'm doing. And even though I'm vulnerable with them, there's still some times where I even doubt myself. But I may not want to talk to my mentor about certain things. And so guess what? Honestly,
Yeah,
I want my peer.
that's right.
And I need somebody, if I'm going to go through this recovery process, I'm looking at my mentor and I'm following my mentor. But John, some people in life, they had the mentor in place. But when they look to their left and look to their right, they don't have a peer.
That's right.
They don't have anybody walking with them. And one thing the sheltered in place and isolation has taught us is that I've heard people say, and John, we was even on the training, and we heard a person say on one of our trainings, I never thought I needed anybody until we was in this pandemic. And this pandemic helped me realize I can't do it by myself.
That's right.
And so, me, the person who always wanted to be alone, who didn't want any peers, now I'm sitting there saying, oh my God, I wish I had a peer to talk to.
That's right.
And so, we need peers. Why is it important, John, to have somebody walking beside you through this recovery process?
Well, not only is it important, it's essential.
Hmm.
And the reason why, and this is for the mentor, for the mentor leader, as
Hmm.
well as the peer. And there's another piece about the parent. Maybe we'll throw that in there later. But the fact is, the reason why it's essential is because as much as you've been there,
Uh-huh.
right, you're not experiencing it now.
Hmm.
And I need that live play-by-play situation. I
Hmm.
need someone who's experiencing with me right
Hmm.
now
Hmm.
what you have already been through. We still need you.
Hmm.
But that's why leaders and mentors have to understand they can't be all things.
Right, right,
You
right.
can't be in the experience as well as lead the experience.
Hmm.
So so
Hmm.
so be comfortable with your role.
Hmm.
And it's
Hmm.
essential that you have other people. That's just like be comfortable in your role with teaching and allow the students to learn and support each other.
Right,
So as the
right.
teacher, you're not going to sit in the class as a student with the
Hmm.
students
Hmm.
because that's not your role. Now,
Hmm.
you could be humble enough in interaction of learning reciprocal from one
Hmm.
another,
Hmm.
but you
Hmm.
you as the teacher will not experience what your students are experiencing through your teaching.
Right,
So
right.
the peers, that's why it's essential for someone to be able to talk, to give you that play by play, that live situation. Maybe perhaps you're thinking what I'm thinking. Maybe perhaps you're feeling what I'm experiencing, feeling. And then also too, in all reality, we talk about the mentor.
Mhm.
We talk about the leader. Let's be
John.
honest. Come on now. We talk about that.
Mhm.
Things that we wouldn't say to the leader
Mhm.
because we all have opinions,
Yes.
you know. So you need that place for venting, not
Mhm.
tearing anybody down, but just to
Mhm.
be able to get that thought out. And
Mhm.
sometimes your peers who also are live feeling the same thing should be
Mhm.
able to help you and support you in maybe changing your perspective because I
Mhm.
didn't get that feeling or
Mhm.
I don't feel that way. It's very important that
Mhm.
you have that.
And so the peer is walking beside me. I don't feel alone. I'm scared, they're scared. But I feel a little bit better knowing that they're with me in this process. We're all looking at the mentor, we're all looking at the person leading us, but the
Walking with
peer
us.
is walking with me, meaning that if my mentor is ahead of me, my mentor may not necessarily know that I'm falling down, but my peer right next to me is holding me up in this recovery process.
Yeah,
Sometimes your peers know if you ever talk to kids. Kids know what's going on with kids before the parents know, before any the
yeah,
teacher knows.
yeah.
Kids know what's going on. You need peers. You need people who's walking with you.
Who's
And that's
walking with
audience, who's walking with you today? Do you have a person? Do you have a person that is your go-to, your peer, the person that your confidant at times that we say? You need that peer. The mentor is going to lead you. The peer is going to walk beside you. Now, John, what about the coach?
Oh,
Who's
what a coach.
pushing us?
Yeah, who's pushing us? Wow. But also with that peer, understanding
Hmm.
that peer is walking with you,
Hmm.
um, and you're not following that peer.
Oh, good job. Yes, John.
Okay,
Not
you're not
following peers.
Yeah, the peer is not there for you to follow them.
That's right.
The
That's right.
peer is there for the shared experience of
Oh,
following the leader.
yes.
Because sometimes
Shared
we can get it
experience.
mixed up and we
Hmm.
start following our peer and forget the leader.
Hmm.
That's why I keep
Hmm.
going back to where we ain't going to get with the parent right now. But that's why a lot of times the our children, our youth, tend to focus on their peer to peer relationship, and
Yes.
unfortunately, they leave it exclusively there. And the reason
Yes.
why they do that is not because the leader doesn't know, is that they're connecting that the leader doesn't feel.
Oh,
Since the leader doesn't
wow.
feel what I'm
Yes.
experiencing now, then
Then I
how could they
understand.
even know?
Right. They don't understand me,
They don't
but you
understand me.
understand me.
You
So,
understand me because you're going with it. But the only thing about that is, and there's no disrespect for anybody like that or peers, but the blind can't lead the blind.
right.
No
So
matter
I
how much you
see.
feel, no
That's
matter
right.
how much you understand, you
That's
still
right.
haven't been.
So if I'm going to recover, I need to talk to someone who has been through a recovery process to give me some guidance, into how to get through this. Not saying that I'm going to do it exactly like you said, John. It's not about checking boxes. It's not
Mm-mm.
like walk exactly the way I'm telling you to walk. It's how can you have a
Mutual
learning
learning experience.
experience, right? So that you can develop. And the peers is a mutual learning experience. The peers is we're on the same team. We're learning this thing together. Now, I'm not going to walk it out just like my peer. I'm not going to walk it out just like my mentor. I'm
Mm-mm.
trying to recover me, meaning
Yeah.
there is one person that should come out of this process, and that's the true Nicole. That's the true
Yes.
John. That's the
Yes.
true you should come out of this
Yes.
process. I'm not coming
Yes.
out of this process looking like my mentor. I may
Nope.
have some attributes of my mentor, but
That's
you will
right.
distinctly know this is Nicole.
Yes.
John will have some attributes, but we're talking about I don't want to be anybody else but me, John. I don't
Yes.
want to be anybody else but Nicole. And sometimes when people try to recover or when they try to get up, they try to get unstuck, they try to do it like somebody else. And they try
Yeah.
to set up their life like somebody else. They try to act emotionally or mentally or try to mimic someone else. And others, instead of getting the essence of the person, they try to do everything that the person has done. And it's like putting a square in a circle hole. And it doesn't
That
work.
right.
And
And
they
that's
feel
why the
uncomfortable.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
No, because you're right. You're just stirring me up more. That's all. It's that's but because that's where the coach comes in at. It's right.
That's
We're
right.
we're we're,
Oh,
we're not we're not cloning.
John. That's right.
The leader is not cloning
Right.
themselves.
Right.
They're giving you the framework,
Right.
and each pair is going to experience the same thing, but they could experience it differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
where the coach comes in, and the reason why the coach is pushing because he knows how to push each individual peer right into the direction to where they need to go. So that's
Mm-hmm.
like having a personal trainer. You and
Mm-hmm.
I both can sign up for the same exercising class, but what I need for my endurance what I need to do for my endurance may look different from what you need to do. And
Absolutely.
the coach pushes you. So sometimes you realize like, why is they so hard on me? How come they're not doing this and how come they're not doing that? Because the coach that is designed to push you knows how to get the best out of you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know
Mm-hmm.
this yet, but the coach has been designed to that will be somebody who is motivating you, who is pushing you in the right direction,
Mm-hmm.
who is coaching you not only in the physical, but
Mm-hmm.
in your spiritual and your
Mm-hmm.
mental
Mm-hmm.
makeup.
Okay. Yeah.
Understanding that a positive coach could agree with certain things with you, but they would never push you in a direction or agree with something that's going to give you a negative outcome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, there also, unfortunately, there are negative coaches.
Mm-hmm.
People who would chime in your ear
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to stir you all up
Mm-hmm.
and to go in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's so important is because sometimes people, based on their own background and based on,
Mm-hmm.
like you just said, how it's so unique, well, this
Mm-hmm.
is what helped me. Even in the
Mm-hmm.
recovery world, there's a time there used to be something called tough love. And they
Mm-hmm.
just, not only did they give it to you straight, but in some cases, it could be rather demeaning.
Yes. Yes.
Now, while that might charge other people up and wake them up and say, I really need to get myself together, it can really uh, have weight on the esteem that's already low on someone else, and they're not
Mm-hmm.
able to bear that burden.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, coaches play a really, really important role as to why they also need to understand Johari's window,
Mm-hmm.
because your role is to also help that person not only explore and discover themselves, but you too. You are discovering that there's something deeper inside of that individual, and you're pushing that individual into that new realm of integrity, that new realm of endurance, that new realm of courage. So the coach plays a really
Mhm.
good role, and the coach also has to understand the dynamic of the leader and the peer.
So, John, what you're saying is that the coach is important. All of these roles are important.
Hold on.
The coach is the motivator. But
He's the
if the
motivator.
coach doesn't have a perspective from the mentor as to which direction that we're going, and the coach doesn't understand that if I don't push the person correctly, they may fall behind or they may run too far ahead. The coach has a very steering position in someone's recovery. And so people may wonder, like, what are the type of people? How do we stay away from the wrong people? And I think it goes down to when you're thinking about the reflection in the Johari's window and you
Hmm.
are hearing feedback, it goes down to our action steps. Okay. And our action steps has to do how to accept and use feedback in three steps. How do you accept and use feedback? And when you listen to the feedback that you're given, that will help you evaluate who should be on my dream team. What are they
Yeah.
saying to me? How is their words impacting me? So I created this idea one time. I was talking to somebody about feedback, and I have created this idea of feedback in three steps. One step is feed. Of course, feed. The first thing you have to do when you receive feedback is you have to receive what people are saying about you and what they're seeing in you. And that may not be easy all the time. If you're going to recover, if you're going to recover and discover who you are, then you have to give attention to what people are saying about you, what people are saying they see in you. That's the first feed. The next thing is, in order to fully feed on it, like eating a meal, you got to chew on it a little bit. One feed is taking it in. The next feed is chewing on it. Let it sink in. Let it reflect. Reflect on it. When you're by yourself, sit and think and meditate. What exactly were they saying about me? What exactly did my friends, when they gave me that feedback about how I was and how I am right now, did I push it off and say, oh, they don't know what they're talking about? Or did I take a moment to look and say, you know what? They got a point. They're really right about me. And then the last thing is, John, when we eat the insight of others, when we eat the comments of our dream team, whether it is the mentor, the peer, or the coach, when we get that feedback, when we allow people to give us feedback and it extends our Johari window, our knowledge, our open areas about ourselves, then we can come back. And that's the last part of feedback, is coming back, which means you use the information
Uh
and the
huh.
process for your development, for your response, and how you'll come back from it. John, that's what we're doing right here.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're giving people something to chew on. We're telling them things and areas and habits that they have developed, ways that they have responded to the things that have occurred in their life, and how they've gotten stuck. Some people will accept it, some people will reject it. But
Hmm.
for those who accept it and start feeding on the information that we are giving, and then after the podcast or playing the podcast again, like we suggested last week, they begin to reflect and to meditate and to think about how these things are true. They begin to uncover the hidden parts, uncover the unknown parts, be vulnerable to say to a mentor, to say
Yeah.
to a peer, to say to a coach, you're right. I did not do my best. You're right.
Yeah.
I did fall off the wagon. You're right. I
Yeah.
started engaging in some things that really weren't well for me emotionally and mentally. And then once I do that, now we're preparing for the comeback.
All right.
Now I'm preparing for how I'm going to come back in 2021. And not only come back, I'm going to come back and discover me. I'm going to come back and recover me. So, John, talk about feedback in
Wow.
your life. Talk about feeding and then coming back.
Wow. I mean, you just kind of put everything together already there. That was very well put together. I feel like eating, which I just have. I
I
feel
feel like
full.
you.
All that you
I
just
feel
said.
like you.
Yeah,
I be eating that,
they tell you to
right?
watch. They do tell you to watch what you eat. So I'm
Watch.
telling
Oh,
you,
John, I like that.
when,
Watch what you eat.
yeah, because you have to watch your intake.
Mhm, mhm,
Because and they also say you are what you eat. And we're talking
mhm.
about information. We're talking about character. You notice how we always go to character, integrity, and things of that
Yes,
nature. It's because
yes.
it's not that you cannot benefit,
Mhm,
but
mhm,
the true
mhm.
benefit comes through the character, comes through virtue.
Yes,
You really have to understand that. So when you're formulating your team, or you are a team member,
you're a team member. Yes.
you have to realize the importance
Mhm,
and the vulnerability that you are in, and you place other people place themselves in when they're in your care. So
mhm,
that's why when you said it's
mhm,
important to eat and chew on that, those are your responsibilities.
yes,
You
John.
have
Thank
to
you.
eat for your
Mhm,
own personal nourishment.
mhm,
You
mhm,
have to chew it. It used to
mhm,
be a saying, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
mhm,
You have to eat the food that is on the plate before you. You have to chew it, digest it,
mhm.
and then allow those nutrients to do its work. But
So, John.
it does not pan out unless you are using the full
Mhm,
variety of
great.
the team. It's the team that makes the dream work.
Team works that makes a
Makes the
dream
dream
work,
work.
right?
Hmm.
And so the team in its best operation, like we had said, is the mentor leading us. And as a leader, that mentor is giving us feedback on,
Yeah.
like you said, not only just not the checkbox feedback, like, oh, you did that well, but the feedback of like, you did it, but you weren't really connected to it. You
Yeah.
said you want to recover, you said you want to get up, but I still see you doing those habits that are keeping you down. I still see
Right.
you connected. I still see you not bearing out your emotions, not sharing how you feel. I still see you doing things that are keeping you stuck. And so the mentor is going to give you that. We need to take that feedback.
That's right.
And then you got the feedback from your peer, where your peer is saying, hey, what's going on with you today? Yesterday you were all motivated, but today something's going on. I need my peer to tell me what they see in me
Yeah.
because I need to chew on that as well. And then I need the coach's feedback. The coach is telling me, like you said, the personal trainer is telling me what to do. That they saying, okay, you say you want to go in this path. Well, let's go in that path. I may be hard some days. I may need to be rough some days, but I also am going to be understanding some days. I'm going to be the type of person that will motivate you to make the steps that you need to recovery and to recover me. And so all of these aspects are so necessary. These are all necessary, everybody's role. One thing about the Johari's window is that the Johari's window is a tool. It's a tool of reflection. We just wanted to share it with you. You can look it up online. Like John said, you can Google it. You don't need us.
Yeah.
You can Google that. But it's to help you see that if we're going to go through this recovery process, if we're going to go on this recovery journey this year, if we're going to go on recovery, recover me, and not I'm going to say recovery, recover me, discover me. I think
Yeah.
I extended the title. Okay, recovery, recover me, discover me. And if we're
Yes.
going to go on this journey together, we have got to accept the fact that people in our lives have roles and they need to give us feedback. John, give us a last final comment. I appreciate you being here with us.
Well, is
Wrap it
this going to
up
be a
for us.
last final comment? Can I read this?
Sure.
Not everyone is healthy enough to have a front row seat in our lives. There are some people in your life that need to be loved from a distance.
Mhm.
It is amazing what you can accomplish when you let go of, at least minimize your time with draining, negative, incompatible, and abusive beliefs, patterns in relationships, friends, and environments. You cannot change people, but you can change the people you are around. Your time is better spent with someone who is not a project or does not need to be saved. Observe the people who are close to you and with whom you spend a lot of time. Which ones uplift and inspire you? Which ones bring you down? Which ones encourage you? Which ones discourage you? Which ones are growing, positive, enthusiastic, and supportive? When you leave certain people, do you feel better or worse? Which ones always have drama or do not really understand, know, or appreciate you? The more you seek quality, respect, growth, peace of mind, love, and truth around you, the easier it will become for you to decide who sits in the front row and who should be moved to the balcony of your life. The people you spend time with impact your quality of life, income, and success. Be conscious of the people you choose to spend time with, as well as the food you feed your body, mind, and spirit, and the environments you work and live in. It is wise not to share your dreams with negative people.
Mhm.
Who is in the front row? Who is on your dream team? This is not an encourage to judge, criticize, or belittle others. We can help the less fortunate or less awake and give to others in need without hurting ourselves. We must have compassion for all people and use discernment on how we nurture ourselves and use our resources in all areas. You are the executive producer and the star. Have a good sense of humor and smile often.
John, I really like that. And somebody tonight may be saying, I hear what John is saying about the people that need to be in my life. I'm hearing what John is saying about this dream team. And we've been talking about this dream team to help me as I'm exploring myself, as I go through this Johari window process of self reflection, of open areas and blind spots and hidden areas and unknown. I understand I need a team to help me through this process. But what if I don't have anybody around me? How can I achieve this when I don't know who I can call on? And friends, I just want you to know that as we go through this process this year, as we go through this process this season, let the people that are on this stream, let them be your peers. Let John and I be your mentors. Be as we develop the actual sessions for this session. And we're going to bring other people on that are going to be coaches. They're going to be people that are going to speak to your motivation, speak to the areas that you need help in. So we're saying tonight, we're here, we're committed, we're going to be your dream team. The peers that are on the live stream tonight with you, they're your peers. And our friends that come on the show, they're going to be your coaches. This year, we're going to recover. Recovery, recover me, discover me. I've added that now, 2021. So we thank you for being with us tonight. God bless you. And we
Thank you.
hope that you continue in your recovery process. Thanks to my co host, John. It was great to have you on again this week.
Oh, God bless
And
you.
we'll see you next week on Headshots Podcast with Dr. Nicole. God bless you and good night.
God bless everyone.